All right, now we're gonna sew the Mandy shirt together that we just cut out. If you didn't see that video, you can go back and find it. First thing we're gonna do is sew the two bodices together. So we're gonna put them right sides together, like this. We're gonna sew the two sides and the shoulders. Cut these apart. Next, I like to do the neckband, just get that out of the way. So everything that's going to be done on the shirt will be done on this machine, except for the neckband finishing will have to be done on my cover stitcher. So here is the neckband of the shirt. I have a very long neckband here, so I'm going to pin it, overlapping the seam a little bit, just to see how much I need to cut off. Then I'm going to follow it around this neck opening, stretching it just a little bit. Then I'm going to overlap it where I started it, just a little bit, like a 1/4 inch, overlapping a 1/4 inch at the beginning and the end. Then I'm going to sew both ends together. And I will start with the seam, neckband seam, at the neck and shoulder seam. So that's what it's going to look like. I'm going to put the neckband down and just lightly stretch it as I sew it. This is what it looks like. You have a raw edge there, but you're going to turn it under and top stitch it down and then trim off the excess. I won't be showing you how to do this on this video though. So here's the bodice, it's ready for sleeves. So next up we're going to do the cuffs. Just sewing two ends together. Put the right sides together and you're going to sew that like across the V. Those are ready, so we'll lay them over to the side while we sew the sleeves together. Put them right side together. You're going to sew down this seam. It's the underarm. apart, turn them inside out. So there's our sleeve. Now we're going to put a cuff on it. Take your cuff and fold it wrong sides together, matching the edges. And then we're going to slip it over, and here's the seam of the sleeve. We're going to match the seams up. So we have 3 layers here. We're going to sew them together. Here's your sleeve with the cuff. Okay, so we do that with the next sleeve. I'm cutting the excess thread. Sorry, it's not crazy. Okay, so we're going to fold this with right sides together, just like it's going to look on the sleeve. Match the edges up, slip it over your sleeve end with all 3 of the seams matching up. And then you're going to sew these 3 layers together. Sleeves are done. Now we're going to put them in the bodice. There's your front. You're going to put your hand in the armhole. Find the armpit seam. We're going to match it up with the armpit seam of the sleeve. Flip it over like this, and this should fit in here together. So we've got this 2 seams matched up. We're going to sew this together. Sleeve is in. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Find the armpit seam, match it with the sleeve armpit seam, and sew these 2 layers together. There's our bodice with the 2 sleeves. All right, now on to sewing the bottom of the shirt. So we're going to find the top. Sometimes this is a little confusing. So here's the top of this piece, and so we're going to match these 2 together. Right sides together, sew down. other side. Didn't match up, it's okay, I'll trim it off a little. All right, now we're gonna find the front. Front's the shorter one, you can see. So we're gonna put it, we're gonna lay our shirt out here, put the front side up. We found the front of our bottom part, so we're gonna match them up together and then flip this over the shirt. Match the side seams up like this. So we have all two layers together, and we're gonna sew it. There are your top and bottom sewed together. So there we go. There's the shirt so far. Now we have to put the ruffles on the bottom, or the ruffle. So here are our 4 ruffle strips that we cut out. 4 4-inch strips by the width of the fabric, and we're gonna sew them end to end. So we're going to put 2 strips right sides together like this. So here's your ends, both selvages, you can see. And I'm gonna show you, I've showed you this before, how to back tack it, since there's no button to back tack on a serger. So you're gonna sew onto the fabric, maybe 1/4 of an inch. Put the needles down, lift the foot, and pull the tail around in front of the needles and sew it down. See, then you have a nice end that's not going to unravel. So this is the side that we're going to keep finished off. So we're going to follow it down to the other end, where we're going to add another piece. So we're going to put these 2 together. We're going to do the same back tacking on this side. We're going to lift the foot, pull the thread around. We're going to follow this to the other end here. Put our last strip on here and sew it down. Back tacking, put the needles down, pull the thread in front. Alright, now one side of these strips has a raw thread, the other side is finished off. So we want to ruffle on this side with these little loose threads. So we're going to follow this down. This is the side we're going to ruffle, so we're going to follow it down to the end, because that's where we're going to start ruffling, and we want to make sure we're ruffling on the right side. I'm going to trim off the selvage. Set my, I think this differential feed on the highest number it can go, and then I'm going to put these 2 dials on the 2 needle tension on 5 and maybe even higher, because this is a little bit thicker and it won't ruffle as, it won't get as ruffly. Okay, I can loosen this a little bit because it's ruffling really good. This selvage off. Put my dial back on normal stitch, which is going to be on 1 over here, and these are okay. So now I'm going to get my shirt over here. This is the bottom, the raw edge. Here's the side seam. We're going to start sewing the ruffle right there. So lay the ruffle down on the side seam, overlapping it 1/4 of an inch past the seam. And then we're just going to sew it down. When you get to a seam, I like to pinch it up and fold it over, so the seam is hid in the fold of the ruffle. We're back to where we started. Luckily it worked out. There's a seam, so we're just going to cut it right on the bottom, the other side of that seam, because it does overlap this seam. So we're going to just veer off of it, sew these 2 ruffle ends together using the back tack method. So we're going to sew these 2 together. Needles down, thread pulled around the back. Now we can finish sewing this ruffle on. there's the ruffle on the shirt. So it's completely done except for the neckband, and that is just going to be turned down, top stitched, and then trim off the excess. Okay, and then you can add a bow or a belt or whatever kind of accessory you want to put on it. That's the Mandy shirt.